Welcome to Create a Story You Love. I'm your host, Lona Faith. This podcast is dedicated to bringing you interviews and inspiration to help first-time and struggling writers take their stories and all their creativity to the next level. You can find the episode show notes and get your free ebook and free access to the Storyteller's Roadmap mini course by going to createastoryyoulove.com. Hey, storytellers. Welcome to episode number 59. Today it is Thursday, December 28th, 2017, as I record this podcast episode. I hope you've had a wonderful and relaxing Christmas holiday with family and friends and lots of wonderful food and, that kind of thing. I had a great Christmas too. It was a great break, with the fam, doing the yearly family puzzle, watching movies, making lots of food, and of course reading some great books, which is, pretty normal in our family. What would Christmas be without some good books and movies and that sort of thing? So I hope you had fun. One book in particular that I was reading during Christmas that was really inspiring for me was actually by another indie author who is actually now a full-time indie author. It was very inspiring. This book is called Blue Collar to No Collar, From Trucker to Best-Selling Novelist in 2 Years by Wayne Stinnett. And this book was just what I needed to reignite my passion for writing and to motivate me to, really step up to reach my goals for 2018, and which also actually inspired me to do something a little different for this last podcast episode of 2017. I wanted to talk about inspiring and reigniting writing dreams that maybe we've put by the wayside or, shoved down deep inside, just because life got too busy. There was too many, family situations we needed to take care of, full-time jobs, too many things going on, and so we just shoved the writing dream way, down inside. And I totally get that because I've done that myself. If you've put your writing dream off, telling yourself you just don't have too much time, or it's too overwhelming to learn, or it costs too much to learn, then this podcast episode I think will be very encouraging for you. And I really get it because I used to say all those things all the time. And, but what if, just ask yourself, what if you could break your dream of writing down into bite-sized pieces to make it simple, doable, where you had the support you needed and it didn't cost a ton of money and you could do it in 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day. And, if that sounds appealing, then this, in this episode, I'll share how you can do that. But I wanted to start off first by talking about what I learned a few weeks ago as I listened to a talk by Brendon Burchard, who is one of the top high-performance coaches in the world. And he was talking about starting and achieving a dream. And just he was talking about what he's learned from other, high-performance, successful people, right? And what he's learned from them. And he was encouraging people to find the dream that is necessary for you. Not the dream that's optional, but the one that's necessary and the one that really makes you come alive. So what is that for you? What really does make you come alive? Where are your passions, leading you, pulling you toward? And I took some time to really think about that and to, bring out my handy dandy notebook and just write down, what is that for me, right? And sometimes I think what happens is we have too many competing interests. This is totally true for me. I remember when I did that interview with Emily Wapnick, and she was talking about being a multi-potentialite. And if you have many different interests, you also might be a multi-potentialite. And that's a wonderful thing. But sometimes, when we have so many options, like option A, option B, option C, sometimes our biggest dream doesn't get realized because there's just so many plates that we're spinning in the air, right? And so anyway, as I was listening to Brendon Burchard, he was encouraging people to do what other successful people have learned to do in many different areas of interest. So first is to find the dream that's necessary for you. Find the dream that you're going to make necessary enough that you will move forward on it every day with consistent action. So it's not enough to say that I'd like to have that, would it be cool if, lots of people do that. And, I've also done that, which is why I waited for so many years to write. And, so a great place to start is to look at what you have on your plate right now that feels so full and overwhelming, and decide what is not necessary and remove that, basically clear the decks. Sometimes as we spring clean, even in our house, we find new space to put things into, right? And it's in the white space that happens when we remove what is unnecessary that we end up finding freedom, right? And in that freedom, we can now plug it, with our new dream, so that we can make the time necessary to do what is really important to us. And there are a few things to consider when deciding whether your dream is necessary for you or not. There are a couple of internal forces that to think about. Can you really see yourself doing this? Is this dream really you? Can you define your identity as part of this dream? Number 2, are you obsessed with the topic? Do you love talking about it all the time? An important part of this is you don't have to know the how-to of the topic to love it. You can grow into that. But does it just make you excited to talk about this dream? And also some external forces. Do you feel a duty or responsibility that you must do this? Do you feel like it's your purpose, your calling, or maybe a deep sense of contribution to the world is tied to you doing this dream? And also, is there an urgency to do this? Is there a real deadline to begin and make real progress on this dream? And so, as you look back at 2017, in this past year, if you didn't make real progress on your dream, then more than likely 1 or 2 of the above, components were missing for you. And I know this is actually what I experienced. There were just too many plates spinning in the air, which is why I only published 1 book. So I wanted to do more than that, right? And sometimes when you have too many plates spinning in the air, it makes it hard to go after what you're really wanting. And I know for myself, I sometimes have a tough time saying no to some things and yes to other things, especially when the other things involve saying yes to myself. This was a conversation I was having with my oldest daughter just yesterday. And she was saying, Mom, why don't you do more things for yourself? And I don't know, sometimes if you're a parent, I'm sure you can relate to this. Sometimes, especially when you have kids, you're so used to always doing stuff for them, always putting them first, always, as soon as they were born, you did that, right? And so sometimes when it changes, like for me, I'm kind of in that spot where it's changing a little now because they are older, right? And they're all college age now. And I'm starting to have a little bit of that freedom to say yes to myself. So this is a new learning curve for me, right? But I think it's important. My daughter reminded me of that yesterday. But it's important to be able to say yes to your dream too, right? And she was telling me how it inspires her when I actually take steps toward those things that are my dream, that I'm really wanting to do. It inspires her to, almost like it inspires her and motivates her to take steps toward her dream too. So these are important things to think about. So if you are like me and you have a tough time saying no to some things and maybe saying yes to yourself, I just really encourage you to think about it. And maybe even today, decide that you're going to say yes to one thing in your life that is truly something that you're passionate about, like going forward in your writing dreams. If you're listening to this, most likely there's a writing dream in there somewhere. So I was writing this list down, and, I realized I really want to write more romance novels. I'm having fun in that genre. And later on, I want to write other genres, but, and then I also want to continue to write nonfiction books that are useful and motivating for first-time writers. And also I want to continue working hard, creating the video lessons and other helpful resources for the storytellersroadmap.com membership site, so that other new writers and people that want to self-publish can learn to write and get their books out into the world without, worrying about being confused about the steps or feeling overwhelmed like I was. And so these are some of my dreams. And so what about you? Do you feel like it is a must for you right now for, in 2018, what is your thing that's necessary? What is your dream that you really need to do? And my guess is that if you're listening to this podcast, you have a dream to be a writer. But maybe somewhere along the way you gave up because the not so pleasant part of life happened. Life threw too many curveballs that upset your world, and you felt like you struck out. Maybe fear or worry inched its way into your life, sucking away your passion for writing. And now maybe you feel listless and sluggish and not sure how to move forward. Now you're unsure how to get back that excitement you once had for writing, and you tried and failed to reignite that spark that seems to be lost. Maybe you're like me and you want to find the wonder, passion, and joy that creating something new in the world brings to you. And if that's you, I really want to help you bring back that spark today. I want to encourage you that you don't have to give up. You don't have to let go of your writing dreams, and you don't have to settle for less. There is hope for your writing, hope for your creativity, and hope for your dreams. So how do we reignite our dreams and goals? Our writing dreams and goals? I want to share with you what has helped me to reconnect with my passion for writing again. It's been a seriously tough last year, or last couple of years really, and I feel like just in the past few weeks maybe, I've started to rediscover my passion for writing and storytelling again. And so if you need a little inspiration to help stick with it, and you're needing a spark to keep going, I hope the following steps will help you in your process. First, I found that when I reconnected with my big why, it really helped me. So I really think it's really important to write down why you want to write in the first place. It's been shown by studies that writing down your goals or dreams helps to reinforce them in our minds. So give yourself permission to write down whatever reason for writing that comes into your mind. There's no judgment here and no wrong answer. Whatever your reason is for writing and telling stories that compels you, that's good, whatever that is. And let that pull you forward. Maybe some examples. Maybe you want to earn a living writing. Maybe you want to make money to save for your kids' college education. Maybe for you, there's a story inside of you that keeps you awake at night, compelling you to put words on the page. I've been rewriting my big why down in my journal in the past few weeks, and it really has given me clarity, because I mentioned above that I really want to keep writing these romance novels as well as nonfiction books, and continue with the membership site, and just to be able to make a full-time income doing it. That really is my dream. And so what is your dream? Write that down. Maybe you want to focus totally on fiction. Awesome. So write that down. Or maybe you want to focus totally on like writing memoir or nonfiction. That's awesome. So, write that down. Write down whatever your dream is. Because that will help give you clarity as you write it down, and write down, why do I really want to do this? What is compelling me to do this? And then step number 2, read, listen or watch what inspires your writing dreams and goals. As creatives, as writers, we need to be inspired on a regular basis. I know for myself, I need to either read or listen to something that helps me step beyond my self-doubts and into belief every single day. For example, when I listened to, it's a YouTube video called Getting What You Want by Oprah. by Oprah Winfrey. I was reminded to have faith as a mustard seed, and it will help you to move the mountains so that anything is possible. And honestly, as I watched this video, it came back to me of just a moment in time when I was 10 years old, and my mom gave me a necklace with a tiny little mustard seed on the inside of a, it's like a clear plastic box. And then, as she gave it to me, she said, "Lorna Faith, this is for you. Think of your name." I think she meant the name Faith. Every time you wear it, it'll help you get past your mountains. And someday I know that you'll encourage others to have faith when things look impossible. And so this was a great reminder to me to keep going after my dreams of writing. I think back, take a few minutes and think back to what has really inspired you. Maybe even something just this past week has inspired your writing goals or dreams. Maybe something someone said, maybe a blog post you read, maybe there's something like, just like what I shared, maybe there's a moment in time in your past. Maybe you had a writing teacher that said you really have a writing gift, or, I don't know, maybe there's just something somewhere in your past where you can look back and say, this is a moment that I want to remember. This helps keep me going. This inspires me. And so, just think of those times or anything that you've read recently or listened to, and just find those things that inspire you to keep going in your writing dreams. And then third, talk about your dreams with a loved one. This is so good. I share constantly, okay, probably too much, let's face it, but with my husband and my kids, the books I'm writing, my ideas, my goals, my dreams, what I'm blogging about, or the really fun chats I have with so many amazing authors on these interviews. And I just share with them what excites me and what inspires me. And what's great is they tell me that it inspires them to go further with their own dreams too. And so sharing your dream with people who love and believe in you empowers and motivates you in your own dreams. This is what I've noticed. It's really quite exciting how this works. And I've also noticed that as you share your dream with others, when you tell them, the real reason that this is so important to me is because I've had this dream since I was a kid, or, I feel like I've been given a second chance to have a go at this, to really go after my dream. And what happens is when you share the real meaning behind why you're doing what you're doing, you'll be surprised at how many people in your circle of friends or circle of influence, how they begin to really understand you better and want to support you. And that's really exciting. I love that when that happens. And so, if your dream is real, you should be talking about it. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how many people really start to understand you better, and because of that, start to support you more. And, and that even new opportunities open up when people hear of your dream too. And so this is just awesome. I just encourage you to try that. And number 4, speak out loud your goals and affirmations. I started doing this on a regular basis around the start of 2017. And it honestly has helped really keep me motivated and focused. I learned this actually in that great book called Miracle Morning for Writers by Hal Elrod, Steve Scott, and Honoré Quarter. And I learned how a focused morning routine, which includes affirmations, how it increases your productivity and helps you move forward. And so instead of saying words like, I can't, I shouldn't, or this won't work because, change those words to, I can, I should try this, it will work. And you'll really start to be amazed how this starts to change your perspective about yourself and your writing. I also actually learned this in Brian Tracy's book called Eat That Frog. I learned that the ability to concentrate single-mindedly on your most important task to do it well and to finish it completely is the key to greater success, achievement, respect, and happiness in life. And when you eat that frog, which means, that's basically another way of saying when you do the most important and sometimes the most difficult task that you need to do first thing each day, and you do it quickly, then this will begin to develop the habit of taking action, which turns into a habit of success. And it all begins with practicing that habit of eating the frog every day. And the wonderful thing is that this is learnable. You don't have to be born with this. This is all learnable, right? So be encouraged that you have, virtually an unlimited ability to learn and develop new skills, habits, and abilities. When we choose to train ourselves through repetition and practice to overcome procrastination and to get your most important tasks completed quickly, you will move on to the fast track in your life and your dreams and your goals, and really accelerate your potential. It all begins by developing a success mindset and learning how to eat that frog, deciding what is necessary to achieve your dreams, and just really to take the bull by the horns and just do it, right? And so that is really helpful. And number 5, go for a walk in nature, visit a museum or other places that inspire you, and also make a list of all the things that you love. These are things that will reignite your dreams as a writer. Take a little bit of time and go on an artist date. Julia Cameron, in her book, The Artist's Way, encourages creatives to go once a week to some place that inspires them. Museums, walking in nature. For myself, oddly enough, going to a craft store, where there's all kinds of things with, wood, even like paintings, that sort of thing, like a craft store inspires me. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe it's because it's just all filled with all kinds of creativity, but it inspires my creativity. And so do something that will fill your creative well. And sometimes I'll go for walks by the small lake that's only about 30 minutes away. It's just inspiring. It gives you ideas for the stories that you're writing, right? So I find also that writing down what I love helps to inspire me. So you can even just go to places like Pinterest, Instagram, or Google a topic that really interests you. For myself, I'll often go to Pinterest and look at pictures and, pin the ones I like, right? And it gives ideas for characters that I'm currently writing or ones that have popped into my mind. And then I'll save those pins, right? And I can always come back to them later. And I also find ideas for next scenes. It's just really quite fun how ideas pop in your head as you're researching stuff. So make a list. I encourage you, make a list of things that you love and then do more research on them. You'll be surprised at how that starts to reignite your dreams. And then number 6, stay connected with other writers and continue learning from mentors. This is something that has been amazing for me. I mean, I've been blessed to just to be able to connect with so many amazing authors that I've had the privilege of interviewing, and I have learned so much from them. It's been inspiring just to learn from them and being able to chat with them. I have sometimes you soak up a person's maybe their way of thinking, and you start to learn of their success mindset just as you're talking to them. And so that's why listening to podcasts is actually quite helpful. But also there's writing groups that you can connect with where you can also share your ideas on them and ask questions. Now some writing groups are from courses that you take. But there are some on Facebook groups to help writers, like 20 Books to 50K, For Love or Money. Or, if your goal is to finish your book, starting January 1st, I'll be doing a Facebook Live with a replay once or twice a week on the Finish Your Book Facebook group that hopefully you'll find helpful. If you just click this podcast episode, you'll find the link there. But those are, some ideas to hopefully get you started. It's just great when you can connect with other writers. This really helps. It also helps with mindset, but it helps, practically too, right? Because you'll get your how-to questions answered. And so these are important things to continue doing as you grow as a writer and to inspire your writing dreams. And then number 7, and kind of the last one I wanted to talk about, is to really write down and chart your 5 big moves that will help get you started on your writing dream. All big dreams can really be chunked down into 5 major activities that it will take to achieve it. If you plan that there's going to be 50 or 100 major activities, then that might be possibly why you're feeling overwhelmed. There isn't, 100 things as far as the really major things. There's only about 5 big moves that you'll need to make that to really move the needle. And those are the big ones that you need to focus on. So really ask yourself, what are the 5 major moves to achieve your dream? As I was listening to Brendan Burchard, he was encouraging people to choose to commit 60% of their week after they've done, things like their full-time job, and dedicate 60% of the rest of their week toward working on their dream and getting it done. And this is really important because it keeps you focused on your commitment, right? What you've decided. And that way you do finish up and achieve your goals and your dreams. And so I encourage you to write down the steps that it takes to achieve your writing dreams. For example, if your goal for 2018 was to finish writing and self-publish 2 books, then your 5 major moves most likely would be something like this. 1, plan your strategy. So, for example, if you wanted the first draft of book 1 done by mid-June and to have it published by mid-June, then you'd work backwards from there, and then you'd want, most likely you'd want the first draft finished by the end of March or mid-April, so that there would be time to get your book edited and to get your book cover done, and then plan your book launch. So again, evaluate what, if anything, you need to give up in your life so that you can get this done and, meet the deadline that you've set. And number 2, you'd want to set up your author website. You'd want to make sure that you had a website that was really related to the genre, if you're writing fiction, or just the whole focus of what you were writing if you're writing memoir or nonfiction. And then number 3, you'd want a way to have email, to capture email addresses from readers. And to attract those readers, you most likely want to offer a free offer. Like if you're writing fiction, maybe a short story or a novella that was related to the genre that you're writing. Or if it's nonfiction, some kind of self-help, could be even a checklist or just a couple page PDF, could be even like something inspirational or whatever, something like that, but that you'd want something that relates to what you are writing. And so you'd want that. And then number 4, an important thing would be that you would want to continue learning, writing craft and to get better at writing stories or whatever would be related to if you're writing fiction or nonfiction or memoir. And 5, the last thing you'd want to do would be to connect with other motivated writers and mentors who would support you, and where you could also find the accountability you need to meet your goals, right? And so these are all important things. And if that was your goal, it was to finish your book, those would be the 5 major moves. And when you do that, when you decide that this is what you need to get this done, to get my dream accomplished, this is what I need to do, and you begin to do those 5 major moves, then suddenly all the other things will start to fall into place. And I really want to encourage you not to wait any longer to achieve your writing dreams. Go through those steps again. Write down your big why. Read and listen to what inspires your writing dreams. Talk about your dreams with your family and your friends who love you and support you. Speak your goals and affirmations out loud and remind yourself every day of them. And make a list of things you love and inspire your creativity. Connect with other writers and with mentors who are motivated and where you can find encouragement and help that you need. And then write down and chart your 5 big moves to take action on your writing dreams. So I really hope that, today's episode has really helped you to reignite your passion for writing. And I hope that maybe one or a few of these thoughts have helped you to discover what is necessary for you, maybe even helped you to hone in on what you need to do to take the next step and to move up, to level up, so that you can really focus and be inspired to achieve your writing dreams in 2018. Also, remember that if one of your dreams is to finish your book in 2018, please do join the Facebook group called Finish Your Book, which will start January 1st, 2018. Just go to createastoryyouLove.com/podcasts and click on episode number 59, Reignite Your Writing Dreams and Goals for 2018. And in there, you will find the link to the Facebook group. And then just click join, and we'd love to have you there. And meanwhile, I wish you all the best as you plan out your year and begin to take practical steps to achieve your writing dreams. Thanks for listening today. I hope you found it inspiring and helpful as you continue to write amazing stories. You can find other episodes at createastoryyouLove.com/podcasts. If you like, you can also get your free book and access to the Storyteller's Roadmap mini course by going to createastoryyouLove.com. If you'd like to connect, you can find me on Twitter at createastorylove, or you can find me on Facebook at createastoryyouLove. See you next time.